All right, so to help break down what we saw in Detroit, we bring in Kenny Caraway of the D-Lo and Casey show. Kenny, thanks so much for joining us. As expected, the Niners pull off the big win, but the dub didn't come without loss. 49ers starting corner Jason Verrett was helped off the field after suffering a serious knee injury. They're hoping it's nothing too serious, but they were up 41-17 at that point. If you were coach, would you have kept him in the game?
You know, the whole situation with Jason Verrett going down, that was the turning point of that game, and for a number of different reasons. If you remember, right after that, a couple other guys went down. I think Jimmy Ward went down with some cramps. Al Shazier went down as well. But this is where the human element of sports comes into play, because these guys aren't video game players. They're not Madden players. They saw a guy that they all love and respect in Jason Verrett, and they know how hard he's worked to get back to this point, go down with probably a season, possibly a career-ending injury, the way his age is and everything like that. And they were shook. They were shook. At the time, it was 41-17, so they figured the game was in hand. The last thing they were thinking about was the Lions coming back. They were shook because their brother was down, and he was out there crying on the sidelines. They got everybody kind of in their feelings, and they let off the gas a little bit. It was a shell shock. So it was a big loss. I don't think he should have took out the starters at the time, but I could understand why when you see guys dropping like flies, like, hey, let's just get these guys out of here and let's get on the bus and get out of here.
Verrett certainly in pain there, so prayers up. We saw both quarterbacks today. Obviously, Trey Lance for just a quick second, but he made it count. You heard Shanny saying to expect to see more of this two quarterbacks playing. Do you see it working out long-term for them?
I'm a little old school, Sarah. I like my one quarterback. I want the guys that can go in there and go into the huddle for every situation and be ready to go. But I can see this working out for a little while. One thing that I do want to see from Kyle Shanahan is he's going to have to let Trey Lance be a quarterback back there. Aside from that touchdown pass, it was a lot of runs, a lot of everybody in the building knew what was going on when Trey Lance was under center, and that's got to stop him. He's going to put him out there to be a dual threat, put him out there to use his arm and not just his leg, because when they tried to do that in the fourth quarter, all 11 guys on the defensive end, they all knew what was coming, and he can't be as predictable with what he does with Trey Lance moving forward.
And dual threat quarterbacks are so much fun to watch. Well, the Niners defense, they took a little bit to get warmed up. Then they went a little bit flat there at the end, which you explained why. But overall, how would you assess the defensive efforts today?
I thought it was okay. Early on, I was not pleased with seeing them getting gashed up the middle with the Lions' run game. But what really turned the game is that those linebackers for the San Francisco 49ers, they did a great job. Dre Greenlaw with the pick six. Al Shazier was phenomenal. And then, you got Fred Warner doing what he does. And then combine that with the fact that Dee Ford and Nick Bosa did such a great job as the game went along, getting pressure on Jared Goff. I thought the linebackers changed the game for that defense, because they were struggling to find their footing early. As like I said, they were getting gashed down the middle. But those linebackers, they showed up in a major way. And that might be the best unit on this team, is that linebacking core for the 49ers.
I may know the answer to this already, but from what you saw out there from the Niners, are they still a Super Bowl contender?
Absolutely. Absolutely. What happened today, it was human nature stuff. They're up 41-17. Like I said, there was some injuries. And it was really, I was sitting at home in a couple of situations, and I was like, stop running plays. Just let them score so you can get the ball and run the ball out. So it was just human nature to just want to get out of there after you saw a couple of guys go down. But they did what they were supposed to do. I mean, they don't get extra points because they did it to a team like the Lions. They did what they were supposed to do, hung 40 on their head. I don't see anything that's overly impressive about it, but I can see a situation where this offense gets humming. They really just used Deebo Samuels and Elijah Mitchell all day. They didn't even really go to Kittle the way they would want to. They didn't use Brandon Ayuk. They didn't use Trent Sherfield. So there's a lot left on the table for what the 49ers can do. Yes, Sarah, this is a Super Bowl contender.
Hey, you have a good point, because Kyle Shanahan, he has so many tricks up his sleeves, and we have barely seen in game one what he has. So I'm excited for the rest of the season. Casey, we appreciate your time. If you like what you heard today, tune in Monday through Friday from noon to 4 for the D-Lo and Casey show, because trust me, there's a lot more that he probably wants to say. He just doesn't have the time to say it right now. Take care, my friend.
You know me too well, Sarah.
I do, but I appreciate you so much. I appreciate all that you have to say.
It's all love. Thank you.